I was watching TV, nigga. We gonna get into it real quick. I'm watching TV and and I'm watching them top 10 lists. Y'all ever see those on
Yeah,
YouTube?
yeah.
It was like best movie villain was Apollo Creed. I'm like, how the fuck was this nigga a villain in the movie? What
What?
did he do? Villainous.
The fuck?
He just talks
What did
shit.
he
That's
do?
all he did.
What did he? What? That's a villain.
He
That's a
just talks
villain.
shit. That's all.
Is
He
he
just
is
talks
Why?
it is he an antagonist or is he a villain?
He no. This list said top movie villain, top number one movie villain.
like Mojo
I'm
and
like,
all them motherfuckers Screen Rant. All them niggas be having their top 10s and top 20s. Yeah.
Jojo.
nigga,
Jojo.
how the fuck is a nigga that talks shit a villain? I think that shit is whack than a motherfucker
that's
bro.
giving tough love, basically.
Not even that, nigga. He was just a
No, he
nigga
was
that
popping shit.
knew the fight game. Apollo Creed knew the fight game.
Mhm.
He was an entertainer. He knew, nigga, to get my career back on track, I need to get this white boy who ain't really shit and scrap the nigga. And he got kind of scrapped by him. So he was like, oh shit, this nigga was nothing to play with. It was all for the business. So why is he a villain? What's going on here? Why is he a villain?
That fight too. That first
But
fight,
I see is black nigga talk shit villain.
villain.
That's
Yeah.
what I
Well,
see
it's
with that.
well, nigga, it's just the same thing. Black walking down the street, you gonna steal something from me. Black walking through the store, you gonna shoot me, some shit like that, nigga. It's the same fucking
Hey,
projection.
Apollo,
mentality.
hey, Clubber Lang. Why was Clubber Lang the villain, nigga? Why? Hey, you just a bum fighting other bums, nigga. Hey, your girl, I'll kiss your girl in the mouth. You hoe ass nigga. He's a fighter.
Woman. Hey woman.
He's
Hey, let me tell you something.
hey,
This
it was
gonna be the
he
real
knew
man.
the game. He knew the game. Clubber Lang knew the game, how to get that shit popping. That's a bad guy? What do y'all think? That's a bad guy.
No. Not even
When I was growing up, Mr. T was my hero. My dad,
That's what I'm talking about.
Mr. T
my
lunchbox,
dad-
my nigga. Shit, I ain't
my
gonna fake. Shit.
my dad told
Mr. T
stories
was
about how Mr. T used to beat dudes up on the south side of Chicago. So when I seen Mr. T, that was my, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking like, oh shit, he's on TV. That's my dad talking about him. That's the man.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, a lot of it is image.
If anything in the Rocky movies,
Fucking.
Ivan Drago was the real villain. That nigga went into an exhibition
that
match
nigga was a villain.
and was like,
That nigga
I'ma
said
just
if he
fuck
dies,
this
he
nigga.
dies,
Hey.
nigga. Look.
hey, check this out. This nigga was on steroids
Yeah.
and got in an exhibition scrap with Apollo Creed
And
and
killed him.
knew it was an exhibition and fucked him up.
Mm.
Killed the nigga, right?
And didn't
Knowing
care
that,
nothing about
hey,
it.
if he
went in there with
dies,
murderous
he dies.
intent. Yeah. That's what
Hey,
I
if he
say.
die, if this nigga's dead, this nigga's dead, nigga.
Hey, you
I don't
know
give a
what's cold
shit.
about
That's
him?
he had your boy slobbery mouthed it, nigga.
Hey,
You was all
you know-
bloody and slobbery, nigga. He had him jerking on the ground. That nigga killed that nigga on purpose.
This nigga said slobbery mouthed it.
And you see how much slobber he had in his mouth, and he was like, "No." That nigga told that nigga, "Don't stop this fight." No. That nigga had all the slobber and blood in his mouth. Nigga, he was fucked up. And that nigga knew what he was doing. He pushed him back in the corner, was like, bing! Nigga was fucking that nigga up.
That's what he did.
My
That's
bad,
what
man.
he did. This
Hey,
man
no
did.
one is.
He
Go ahead.
grabbed him by the neck, right there,
This nigga got a glove.
pulled him
Goddamn
back,
glove.
and he raised up on him. Was like, bah!
God damn it.
Bah!
Oh,
And that's how you knew. That's how you listen. And hey, you know what the crazy part is? You listen. You know this. I'm about to fuck y'all up.
Good.
Nobody really eats. So we bring up the steroid use, but Ivan Drago is looked at as one of the coolest villains. Not the fact that he was a cheater. He was a juice monster. So when they brought him back, listen, when they brought him back in the Creed 2, right?
Yeah.
They didn't bring up his steroid use or nothing like that. He's just like a villain. We just gonna fucking forget about the juice, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like your daddy was a juice head.
Hey, he's easily juicing his son too, nigga. Let's get that clear too. He didn't pass the juice down. He didn't pass the juice down, nigga.
So in his DNA at this point.
I'm saying if you gonna tie a villain to that series, nigga, it would be that nigga.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think Clubber Lang or Apollo Creed is any type of villain in any way in the movies at all. There's a mess up in Rocky 4. This nigga said, "I'm gonna get you," and he had no glove on. And then in the next scene, he has his glove on. Nigga, look for that. Also, there's another one. His hand goes left, but the punch goes right. You gotta. When he had Apollo Creed and he bust up on him, nigga, hey, watch that shit. It's gonna trip you out.
Wow.
Hey, it changes the whole movie, nigga. But
that editing. No, I think what you touching on though, X is it's the perception of the black man. Even how we look at even how we look at ourselves. It's we are perceived in certain ways. That's acceptable, you know, and people let it be acceptable. You know what I'm saying? You know, like Ali, right? We all know how great Ali was. Ali was great because he has speed, good power, and he can beat you up going forward and backward and all that shit. And he really didn't have a set style. But the thing that he's really known for is for him standing up for everybody and anybody. He can be anywhere in the planet, right? You could see his black face and you knew what he was. So, like, when we talk about him now, how great he was, the fact that he stood up for black folks isn't mentioned. That's what he's known for.
I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now, right here fighting you.
I am the greatest has nothing that, you know what I'm saying? That even that picture, that dude was before the fight, that dude was calling him by his European name.
Why don't you like to be called Clay anymore?
No, Clay was not my name. Clay was a white man's name. It was a slave name. And I'm no longer Clay. I'm no longer a slave. So now I'm Muhammad Ali.
And he told that dude, he's like, "Hey, don't call me." He said, "My name is
Yes, sir." Yeah.
He said, "My name is Muhammad Ali." And that fight signifies a lot of stuff. Like, really, he, you know, that's for anybody calling him Cassius Clay, because that's not his name. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gave me that name. You know, you see what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
a lot of what is perceived. It's like Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. Oh, he's so peaceful. He's so peaceful. Well, a lot of times, before he got to a city, they would set it off and they would bring Dr. King in to calm everything down. That's why if you go back and look, there's all kinds of pictures and like comics of Dr. King. It's like, oh yeah, all he does is cause riots. Why? Because they had a system in place. Because a lot of people don't understand like how things work. He did. It's just like Martin Luther King did. But these things are erased and then they're whitewashed. And that's what it is, man. Our perception is like, for instance, so like who knows who Vasily Lomachenko is?
I don't know that.
Everybody.
Okay.
You want to watch boxing? He's a boxer.
Yeah, well, yeah, he like
I thought that was a drink.
Yeah. Hey, they call him the Matrix, right? Because he can move.
This nigga rocks.
Vasily.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But no, basically, he a real good boxer. He got real good movement. So they call him the Matrix. He's a good fighter. He's a 2-time Olympian gold medalist. He's a very good, fighter. His ability to fight is looked at as super technical. But when you refer to other people who use movement in their fights, so like when they call people a runner, they use their legs. So normally when they want to call somebody a runner, they call black fighters runners because they use their feet. That's what they call him. As opposed to like Vasily Lomachenko, where he's just technical. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a perceived notion of fear and or cowardice, and it's always been like that. It's always been like that. But it's just up to us to change that.
Hey, I don't give a fuck. Man, I'm gonna still be a now. Yeah.